Hello and welcome. Jim Brandt here with Request Tracker, and today we're going to talk about Request Tracker and AI. So, our approach has always been about choice with Request Tracker, and AI really is no different. We assume that users will want to use all different kinds of AI engines. So, we're going to try to make it really flexible so that you can kind of plug in what you're using already or maybe what you want to experiment with. We expect many people maybe already have access to even a paid type of AI, maybe through one of the other subscriptions that you already have. For example, Google Workspace has Gemini, Microsoft has Copilot, or maybe you're using one of the other sort of independent providers out there. Obviously, everyone's heard of ChatGPT or Claude. So whatever it is that you want to experiment with, we want to make that flexible so you can kind of plug that in. So our approach is BYO AI. Bring your own AI and plug it in. So we're going to release an extension that allows you to plug in AI. It's going to work with Request Tracker 6. And RT has an extensive interface for plugging in all sorts of different custom features. So we have a lot of flexibility for where we want to put different AI features, both for this initial release and then as we go forward, as we get different ideas from users and as we come up with different ideas. So RT is very flexible that way, so we can kind of put things in where we need to put them. So some of the initial areas that we're going to go through and show is some AI functionality in scripts, which if you know RT, very familiar with, is basically happens every time something happens on a ticket. If you have an opportunity to do something, there's callbacks that you can use, and then there's even things that you can do in the editor. The CKEditor 5 is flexible and allows us to actually add plugins it's a little bit easier than in the past. Actually, it's a lot easier than in the past. So there's some things that we can do there. So let's jump right in and see some examples. So I've got an RT6 demo site set up here and logged in as, this is just a support scenario. So I am Susan, a support person, kind of watching the support dashboard as requests come in. And I've got one that's come in down here at the bottom from John, and it looks like he needs some more drive space. So I can click on that and come in. We can see a standard ticket here. And we can see that he's got a bunch of presentations he's working on and he's running out of space. So we can go ahead and reply. As we come into the editor, we can start to see some of the AI features. So you can see there's a new menu here, an AI assist menu. So I can get myself ready here. And if I go into that menu, there's a couple of different options for things that we can, it will send off requests to the AI. I'm using Gemini right now. That's what I have plugged in. So I can adjust the tone. We can do suggestions, and there's even a translation option to just do a language translation. So I've got some responses all set up here so you don't have to sit and watch me type. So we're just going to grab one of those responses, pop that in. And as you can see, this is a little bit, huge, useless files, maybe not the nicest way for support to talk to somebody. So if I can come in here, I can do the adjust tone and voice. And I've got a couple of different options here. So I could say, give me something formal. Maybe you want to go with something, we want to show some empathy because he's running out of space here. And I can just generate a response. If I click on that, it goes out. It's going to send that request out to, in this case, Gemini, and it's going to come back with a response. And you can see it's kind of rewritten that to be a little bit nicer, a little bit more professional. So if I don't like that, I can just click the X and kind of dismiss it, or I can just click Done, and you can see it actually pop that in. So one of the other things that you'll notice as I do that is it popped up in the box there is there's actually autocomplete running in the background as well. So maybe if I want to add on something to the end here, if I just start typing, we can see it's going to start to suggest things as we go out. So this is actually a pretty good reply. So let's just leave it as it is for now. So we'll go ahead and update that. And then I've got another browser set up so that we can jump over and be over here in Opera. We can be John, who's on the other end. So he can come in and he'll see that response. So he's basically saying, yeah, suggesting that we can get rid of some files. But as you can imagine, he just wants his quota increased. So he's going to come back and we can, again, just jump over here. And we got a response here. Pop that in. Basically, he's saying, I've deleted some files, but I really need to keep most of them. Can I just get more space? So we'll have him go ahead and reply. And that's just a self-service interface that I'm using that John's on the other end of. And we jump back over here to Edge so I can come here, and then we'll see what the response is. And we can see that there's some other things that have been added as we've been going back and forth on this ticket. And these are some bits of functionality that are enabled through scripts. So we have a ticket sentiment, and then we have a ticket summary. So the sentiment is just we send the text off of the latest reply, and it's going to just assess. And it just has 3 values: satisfied, neutral, or unsatisfied. So that's just trying to gauge kind of how is this support sort of situation going. And then the summary is just what you would expect. It's summarizing the ticket based on the information back and forth. And what we're sending off in that case is the username of each person and then what their response was, going through all of the different replies on the ticket and just saying, hey, could you please, summarize this? So these features, and actually all of the features that I'm showing here, there's a prompt that you send. So if you played with AI a little bit, you know that often you type sort of an initial section to set the AI up and say, this is what I want you to do. So all of those are configurable in this. And a lot of the functionality here is actually going to be tuning those prompts to get back what it is that you want and what you want added to the ticket. So in this case, we've told in the prompt that I have set up for the summary, we've told it that this is a ticketing system and that it's going to get information where it has the username and then what their reply was. And then we're actually asking it to say, what's the current status of the ticket? And then what is your recommended follow-ups? Like, what do you think the follow-ups would be? So that's what it's kind of come back with here. We've got all the basics of the ticket, and then no decisions have been made yet. And then what are the next steps, right? The support agent, Susan, the account that I'm in now, needs to address the request for more space. So those are 2 other functions that are plugged in there. Again, they're in scripts. So right now, the condition on those, these are actions that are provided. The condition is just on correspond. So again, you can modify those to be on any condition that you want. So maybe you only want the ticket summary to actually fire on resolve, like when the ticket's done or something like that. That's all very flexible, and you can kind of set it up to do whatever it is that you want. So we're down here with John's latest request. So let's take a look. I'm just going to select that. Susan likes to keep her tickets clean so we don't have all of that back and forth. So she's just going to grab that last little bit there. And I think we've got her reply over here. Oh, good. He's going to get his request approved. He'll be happy about that. And again, if you can just start typing, and it'll start to recommend based on, it just gives a little bit of context that it sends over. Now, actually, before we send that, the other thing, we can try this other option here, this AI suggestion. And the suggestion is basically you're going to give it a little bit of context and then just ask the AI to just figure out what they think the answer should be. This one's been really interesting, and obviously this one's going to be driven a lot by the prompt that you give it. Wow. So this time the AI really came back with a lot of information. So there's all sorts of different actions. So this would be a pretty extensive response back to John. So this one, again, you could definitely get it to trim this by modifying the prompt and saying, hey, make it terse, or don't give back too much information, basically telling it what it is that you actually need back here. And this is something that we expect will improve as you go into the future, giving it more context as well. The more information that you can provide, the better chance it has of coming up with something that is going to be a good response. So that's kind of something experimental that we're playing with right now. But we'll just go back to the response that we had there before. Go ahead and update, and then we'll jump back over to John, and he should be happy because his quota is increased. So we'll jump in here, and we'll say he's just happy that it's all set. So say he's happy, and then we can go back and finish off the ticket, and we'll see if that summary is updated as we went through. So we see that, again, he was satisfied before. So if you go in, we have experimented with this, and if you make his replies a little bit angrier, it definitely goes to unsatisfied. And you can see the current status is resolved. No follow-up actions are required. So again, that's running on every correspond as we go through, and it's updating the ticket summary based on all of the information that we're sending over. So there we go. We have a few features that are going to be coming out in this AI extension, and these are just a few initial examples, and we think there's going to be plenty more to come. Thanks.